Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles Sabansu, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And folks, we got one for you guys here today. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel now. Y'all know that Bronny James has been making all kind of headlines. As a matter of fact, just yesterday I tuned into a segment, on Gil's Arena. It seemed like they had some type of Halloween theme going on there, and they were talking about Bronny James, right? I think on the panel it was Rashard McCants, Kenyon Martin, Gilbert Arenas, and Brandon Jennings, and they were talking about him, the attention around him, and all of that, and they were kind of making some points back and forth. But look, for any of you who've been following this Bronny story, you know that Bronny came into the NBA with a lot of hype, right? And the reason he came into the NBA with a lot of hype is because of his father, given the fact he is LeBron's son, and also some of the things that LeBron has been saying. And because of that, you've been having various news organizations publicizing Bronny all over the internet. They did that all throughout Summer League and even in some of the preseason games. I think the first preseason game, he had like a block or a chase down block, and it was plastered all over the internet. But then when you started to dig and look at the numbers, you realize that Bronny wasn't performing well at all. In the 3 preseason games, Bronny James, of all the active players that played in the preseason that were able to log minutes, he has the worst plus minus of a minus 40. That's Bronny. He's averaging 0.7 points per game, I think 1 rebound, 1 assist or so, and 1.7 turnovers, while shooting 9.1% from the floor. It's been bad. It's been very bad. Just yesterday, we produced a show. I don't know if you guys have seen it. If you haven't seen it, I urge you to go check it out. Of some comments that Charles Barkley made, where he was essentially saying that, look, he's not a finished product. They need to handle him with kid gloves. But clearly, he needs to do a little bit more development. Who's another person that said another NBA Hall of Famer? Magic Johnson said something similar. But when he said that, some LeBron fans started talking about Magic Johnson. Oh, this old head started talking about his son. All kind of crazy stuff, right? And in the midst of all of this drama and conversation, the person a lot of us has been wondering what they think is LeBron James himself. Because LeBron is part of the committee that basically ensured that Bronny James made it to the NBA. Despite all of the ridiculous stories surrounding his path to the NBA, he was a part of it. Because in the article that ESPN published the other day, we're like, well, Rich Paul, speaking of Bronny, well, Bronny, where do you want to go? He said it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is hearing my name called. Like, okay. So they were like, okay, is you time to do some workouts? You're going to be working out with any teams? No, I'm only going to work out with 2 teams. But I thought it didn't matter. If you're the second round pick, wouldn't you want to ensure that you give yourself the best possibility to show your abilities to all the other teams so you can have a good stock going into the NBA? No. I'm only going to work out for the Phoenix Suns and the Lakers. Like, but that doesn't make any sense when you just said it doesn't matter who calls your name. Then before draft night, you started hearing no team should pick Bronny. If you're thinking about picking him, he's going to go to another country. We're like, but I thought you said it doesn't matter where he gets. Obviously, this thing was orchestrated. You would have to be a bloody idiot to believe otherwise, right? But LeBron and his team have been a part of this. So what happened? A lot of us have been wondering, what does LeBron have to say about Bronny's performances throughout the preseason thus far? And it turns out we actually got an opportunity to hear from LeBron James. And trust me, folks, when he was talking about it, he was very, very uncomfortable when they began to ask him about Bronny James. But before we even get into what LeBron James had to say about his son, today's video is brought to you by a sponsor, PrizePicks, which is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. PrizePicks makes it easy to get real money action on sports and players you love. Pick more or less on 2 or more players in any sport to win up to 100 times your entry fee. For example, here's a possible winning player projection lineup. Tyreek Hill for more than 90 receiving yards and Dak Prescott for more than 263 passing yards. Josh Allen for less than 240 passing yards and CB Lamb for more than 96 receiving yards. And if you're like me and you want to play safe, you will love the new features PrizePicks invented. Flex Plays. Flex Pays are the safest way to play PrizePicks. You can still make a profit or win some money back even if a couple of your picks don't hit. On top of this, PrizePicks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. So download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do now is we're going to play what LeBron had to say when reporters tried to ask him about Bronny James. Only about a 30-second clip. I want you guys to take a listen to it. We're going to actually put up LeBron's face so you can see how uncomfortable he was, and then we're going to come back and continue on. Take a listen to LeBron here.
I mean, unfortunately, I don't know if he talking to them. You got to ask him. As a grown man, ask him how he's handling it. And we go from there. But he's a grown man. He's a professional. He can handle all those questions himself. But I mean, we know why, good or bad, why the attention is there. So,
Thank you.
So you heard what LeBron James had to say. LeBron wasn't comfortable with that question. As a matter of fact, he didn't want it. And I'm gonna tell you why I know LeBron didn't want that question. Do you know why? For one, LeBron hasn't been tight-lipped about Bronny. LeBron has been talking about Bronny James for the past few years. As a matter of fact, the same LeBron that was reluctant to speak here was the same LeBron that was going out there putting out tweets on X or Twitter, basically saying, man, I'm watching League Pass right now, and Bronny could look a lot better than these dudes I'm looking at right now. Or he went out there and said that, oh, Bronny could definitely play for the Lakers right now. So LeBron has been quite vocal about Bronny. As a matter of fact, during Media Day, I believe that was on September 30th, they were up there doing media together. He had a lot to say about Bronny, a lot to say about him. So LeBron has had a history of voicing his opinion about his son. But now when they ask him to talk about his performances thus far in the preseason, oh, man, you better go over there and ask him. You better go over there and ask him. He's like, but what happened? I thought you had all of this stuff to say. What happened? And I think what is happening is a few things. The first thing I think LeBron is going through what any parent will go through, which is if your kids are not doing good, you're not going to feel good, right? You're not going to feel good and you're not going to be happy. So what LeBron is experiencing is something natural, right? I think it's a thing that most parents feel. If you have a child that set out to do something and you see that they're having some challenges or they're having some setbacks, it's going to bother you, right? It's going to bother you that they're not seeing success. So the first part of his initial reaction is normal, but here's the problem. Here's the problem. Bronny James is the 55th pick in the NBA draft. I think anyone evaluating Bronny dispassionately and removing their emotions out of the situation would have been able to tell you quite clearly that Bronny James wasn't a first-round player. Everyone else has come to this conclusion. NBA scouts, people like NBA former legends like Charles Barkley, Magic Johnson, and others. Most people believe that Bronny either should have stayed one more year in college or should go straight to the G League to develop his basketball game. Most people see that. And given the fact that most people see that, I'm assuming LeBron must have seen that as well. Granted, it's his son. I still believe LeBron had the ability to evaluate talent. So given the fact that Bronny wasn't this first round pick, you should have known better than to say what you said publicly. If LeBron feels that Bronny should have been on the Lakers, he's good enough to be on the Lakers, you say that indoors. You don't go put that type of pressure on your son and say that to the world. You don't do that. And it's these things that have brought us to the point where we are now. It's these things. LeBron inadvertently contributed to the pressure that Bronny James is going through. That's the one part. The second part is this. LeBron has been vocal on a lot of things as it pertains to Bronny. Go all the way back to Media Day, which was just 2 weeks ago. Talking about his excitement, how it felt surreal. Even in their first game, it felt surreal and this and this. And the point is, LeBron has been vocal about Bronny. But Bronny is going right now, he's going through a difficult period right now. Bronny's probably aware of what's being said, and he's also aware of his performances. At that point, I think LeBron could have not defended him, but said, look, Bronny is a work in progress, and we're working to make sure that he gets where he needs to be. At that point in time, it's like you brought Bronny all the way out here just to leave him alone, just to leave him by himself and say, okay, you figure it out. Well, that wasn't the approach you took all this time. All this time you were promoting him. Well, now he goes through a difficult period. All of a sudden, go talk to him here and he's an adult. All of a sudden now he's an adult. So what about all those other times? He wasn't an adult? Listen, this situation, as it's trending right now, will not have a positive outcome. And I think the person that's going to lose out the most in all of this is Bronny. Frankly, the night LeBron and his son play together, do you know who benefits from that? LeBron James and the Lakers. Bronny has zero benefit. Or if he does have any benefit, is negligible. The person that benefits the most is LeBron and his legacy, and then the Lakers for having that moment in a Lakers jersey. And it's a damn shame that Bronny is being used as a prop or a sideshow just to make some head. Look, there are a lot of people talking about, man, it feels good. And I can understand to a certain extent, it's pretty cool to see it. But you know what? What would be even better is if Bronny James went off to have a successful NBA career and we removed our personal feelings of how good it feels to us. How about what matters to Bronny and what's good for Bronny? And less of, oh man, this is really gonna elevate. I've seen LeBron creators already making content talking about, well, at least Bronny James made it to the NBA. What did Michael Jordan? This is all it is for these people. Another moment to prop up LeBron James, even if it's at the expense of his son. These people are crazy. Even if it's at the expense of his son. You have parents, some of them out here arguing for the man. I'm gonna put my son in positions to succeed. I'm gonna put my son in positions to succeed. Well, is he succeeding? Is he succeeding? If you had a business, an empire that you build, you're gonna promote your son when you know they're not ready just because you want to have the feeling of what it will feel like to work with my son because you know you're about to retire from the business in 1 or 2 years and risk your son going in there and making all kinds of mistakes? Or if you wanted your son to be damn good at his job, why didn't you retire sooner and start working with him the way Carmelo has? It doesn't work. Do you know why? Because you can't get to 40,000 points like that. You can't. You can't get to 40,000 points doing that. You can't stat pad all the way to the end. Look at what Carmelo's doing. If LeBron was serious about this, he would say, you know what? I'm done. Let me focus on making sure my kids are the best that they can be to get to the NBA. Here's a thought. What a novel idea. What an idea that has nothing to do with LeBron. I know LeBron fans can't fathom it. They can't fathom it. This whole thing is a mess. The whole thing is a mess. And I think it is unfair what is happening to Bronny. But Bronny must be discussed. The way we discuss everybody else, he must be discussed. And the reason we're going to keep talking about Bronny is this. The more they keep promoting him like an NBA All-Star and they keep plastering him all over the internet, the more we're going to talk about it. We'll stop when they stop. We will stop when they stop. I don't really care about their father and son. I don't care. I don't care. Because this should be about Bronny. It's unreal. Imagine you as a parent and you're making things about yourself versus your kids. Wow, that's deep. Think about how useless you got to be. Usually when you're a parent, you take a step back and the focus becomes on your kids. No. The focus is on us, the two of us. Something weird about that.